you probably heard we had a little debate last week. Can't say it was my best performance. But ever since then, there's been a lot of speculation. What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again. Because
we're going to go.
Folks, I'm the sitting president of the United States of America in no small part because of you.
In no small part?
Joke, in 2020, you came through for me. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party. I'm the nominee of this party because millions of Democrats like you just voted for me in primaries all across America. You voted for me to be your nominee.
Can't understand a word he's saying.
You, the voters did that. And despite that some folks don't seem to care who you voted for.
Ooh.
Well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can.
Say it as clearly as you can, Joe.
I'm staying in the race.
Pretty definitive.
I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
I'll beat him again in 20. He posted this, people. Joe Biden posted this.
Again in 2024.
Oh, you got corrected there.
I learned long ago. When you get knocked down, you get back up.
Nobody knocked you down, Joe. You freaking tripped on your own shoelaces.
And I'm not letting one 90-minute debate wipe out 3.5 years of work.
That's right. That's right, Joe. You can do it.
Pandemic to the strongest economy in the world, and that's literally true. And I and you are not finished yet.
Oh, we're pretty close. At least one of us, Joe, is pretty close to finished. And if anybody thought that, when he said I'm going to beat Trump again in 2020, that, that might have been, I don't know, Republican. What's the war room that posts the GOP research? This was posted by Joe Biden himself. In this 2-minute clip, he doesn't know what year it is. I appreciate everybody gets messed up every now and again. They think it's 2020 when it's 2024. I appreciate everybody thinks that their son died in battle when they didn't, and that they used to teach at universities when they didn't. Why is everyone saying Bannon in the chat? What happened? Make it make sense, please. That was Joe Biden himself putting up that highlight of his speech today, saying that he's going to beat Trump in 2020. He's defiant, and if we're following the markets, which some of us are compulsively, not necessarily to our betterment, but potentially to our detriment, Kamala Harris is now at 47 cents. She's up 4 cents, whatever the last unit of measurement is, and Biden is under 40 cents. He's at 39 cents to be the presidential candidate for the Democrat Party. Good evening, everybody. The summer is a time when parents become professional chauffeurs basically 24 hours a day. And it's a wonderful time when you try to struggle to do work. And I don't even have a normal schedule, and it's still difficult to schedule things. Holy crab apples. We're going to witness tonight, and I hope I got the right channel. I hope I got the links up in the backdrop. We're going to watch the cleanup crew come in. George Stephanopoulos. I'm going to pull up a bunch of history of Joe Stephanopoulos and who he is. A Democrat operative coming in. Is it going to be cleanup, or is it going to be finish the hit job? Is this interview going to be so bad, even this planned, presumably highly edited interview between Joe Stephanopoulos, oh, look at that, Viva Frei now, George Stephanopoulos and demented Joe Biden. Is it going to be a cleanup of the Biden campaign or a cleanup of the mess, like Sunshine Cleaners type cleanup? Who knows? We shall see, but we're going to watch it together in real time. Anybody in the chat, if you can help me out on this, I know it airs on ABC at 8 o'clock. At least that's what the news says. That's what PVR says, because I've scheduled to record it. From what I see on the ABC Live website, this thing right here,
episodes and see why the New
From
York
what I see on-
Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start here, ABC News. Make it your
George
daily
Stephanopoulos.
first listen.
So it seems to start. I don't know if there's like a pre half hour show that starts at 8 o'clock and then the interview itself is at 8:30. According to the Chiron on ABC News Live, it starts at 8:30. On the news channel, it says it starts at 8 o'clock. But whatever, we'll get there and we'll have fun until we get there. Free Steve Bannon. So I'm going to take that out of the backdrop so we don't see that anymore. Good evening. It's Friday night. It's another week of absolute madness. Still trying to make sense of the election results coming out of the UK. We're going to talk about that Sunday night with Barnes. But the news of the week that you can't escape. This is a pre-recorded interview. Stephanopoulos sounds like something in the toilets. This is a pre-recorded interview. We're going to play the game as to count the hard edits or count the edits. And it is George Stephanopoulos is a DNC operative, has been for a very long time. Actually, hold on. Let me just bring up George Stephanopoulos. We're going to use the Wikipedia just because it'll be the most proud thing about his history. We're gonna just, for those of you who don't know who George, if you thought he was just a journalist or whatever, he looks like John Kirby. He talks like John Kirby. He talks like all of these deep state assets. They're so composed when they talk, and they have a very semi-nasally voice, and they talk soft and soothing and whatever, blah, blah, blah. George Robert Stephanopoulos is an American television host, political commentator, and former Democratic advisor. Stephanopoulos is currently co-anchor, I thought that said Conchar, with Robin Roberts, Michael Strawn, yada, Good Morning America, this week's ABC, yada. Before his career as a journalist, Stephanopoulos was an advisor to the Democratic Party. He rose to early prominence as a communications director for the 1992 presidential campaign of Bill Clinton. Subsequently became the White House communications director. He was later senior advisor for policy and strategy before departing in 1996. Let's scroll down here. Political. He worked in D.C. Nobody cares. Clinton administration. This is why I like to hypothesize. I like to imagine, is this going to be a cleanup of Joe Biden or a cleanup of Joe Biden? Because I obsessed about the betting markets. I've put a wild long shot on Hillary Clinton, but she's now at 3 cents likelihood to be the presidential nominee for the Democrats. And I don't think she's actually going to ever get it. I'm still have my bet on Gavin Newsom if I had to bet on a secondary one, although Michelle Obama is now a convincing tie for that. But I still believe Joe Biden is going to drop out or no longer be there, even if he's gotten the appointment after the convention. Joe is not making it on that ticket to November 2024. And I put a little side money on Hillary Clinton because I believe there will be such wild infighting once Joe Biden is out or taken out, that all of the others are going to like compete and vie and rise up the markets, and we'll see what happens. Okay, stop it. In the Clinton administration, Stephanopoulos served as a senior advisor for policy and strategy. His initiatives focus on crime legislation, affirmative action, and healthcare. His salary was reportedly $125,000 a year. Yada, yada. Okay, fine. At the outset of Clinton's presidency, he served as the press secretary. Okay. 1994, after Paula Jones accused Bill Clinton of sexual harassment, Stephanopoulos and James Carville, the walking skeleton, sought to discredit her allegations against Clinton. Both men suggested that Jones was just seeking cash for her story. Liar. So he's a professional liar, has been for 3 decades. Stephanopoulos also successfully sought to keep Jones' news conference off television. Stephanopoulos called NBC journalist Tim Russert, CNN chairman, as well as several others whom he convinced to keep her conference off television. Let's see. He's got a wonderful history of suppressing information, a misogynist of the highest order. In 1999, Stephanopoulos and Carville were sued for defamation by Jennifer Flowers. Stephanopoulos had made comments about her allegations that she had an affair with Bill Clinton. He accused Flowers of doctoring her taped conversation with Clinton to make her story more credible. Oh, look, creditable? Stephanopoulos also called her story tabloid trash, garbage, yada, yada. The suit was dismissed since his comments were not the basis for defamation. I could have predicted that one. He resigned from the Clinton administration shortly after Clinton was reelected. That's very nice. His memoir, All Too Human, A Political Education, was published after he left the White House during Clinton's second term. It quickly became a #1 bestseller, yada, yada, yada. Let's see if there's anything else we care about here. Early life, controversies, real estate loan controversy. In 94, columnist Jack Anderson, Mr. Anderson, reported that Stephanopoulos signed an $835,000 commercial real estate deal. Do I care about this? Who cares about this crap? Clinton Foundation charity donations. Stephanopoulos donated 25 grand in 2012, 2013, and 2014, 75 G's to the Clinton Foundation, but did not disclose the donations to ABC News, his employer, or to his viewers. That's a problem. Stephanopoulos failed to reveal the donations even on April 26, 2015, while interviewing Peter Schweitzer, the author of Clinton Cash, a book which alleges that donations to the foundation influenced some of Hillary Clinton's actions as Secretary of State. After exposure of the donations by Politico on May 14, 2015, Stephanopoulos apologized and admitted he should have disclosed the donations to ABC News and its viewers. The story was broken by the Washington Free Beacon, which had questioned ABC News regarding the matter. The donations had been reported by the Clinton Foundation, which Stephanopoulos had considered sufficient. A reliance ABC News characterized as an honest mistake. They would have put Trump in jail for anything similar to that. Based on Stephanopoulos' donation to the Clinton charity and his behavior during prior interviews and presidential debates, Republican Party leaders and candidates expressed their distrust and called him to be banned from moderating 2016 presidential debates due to bias and conflict of interest. He agreed to drop out as moderator. I don't even remember this. This was before I was politically conscious. In the months prior to his revelation, Stephanopoulos told Jon Stewart on The Daily Show that when money is given to the Clinton Foundation, everybody knows there's a hope that's going to lead to something. And that's what you have to be careful of. Jeffrey Epstein Association. This is interesting. In 2010, Stephanopoulos attended a dinner party at the home of convicted sex offender socialite Jeffrey Epstein alongside Chelsea Handler. Woody Allen. Look at this who's who of perverts and pedophiles. Alleged potential. Prince Andrew, Charlie Rose, and Eva Anderson Dubin. Following Epstein's arrest in 2019, the guest list of the party was reported online, with those attending receiving backlash. Stephanopoulos denied being friends with Epstein, with the party being the only encounter. Stephanopoulos told the New York Times, "That dinner was the first and last time I've ever seen him. I should have done more due diligence. It was a mistake to go." Okay. He sounds like a nice guy. He's a Greek Orthodox Christian and has earned the master's degree in theology. Okay, very nice. That's interesting. That's George Stephanopoulos for you peeps. Let me take that window out of here. So that is George, who's going to be undoubtedly giving an unbiased, straightforward interview that will be no edits. There'll be no, like editing out 2020 and just put in the 2024 is when I'm going to beat Trump again. And we'll see how this goes. The question is, sounds like he still has loyalty to Hillary and Bill Clinton. Whatever happened to the Clinton Foundation? It's funny, the second she's no longer Secretary of State or presidential candidate, just all the donations dry up. So I'm still hoping from a betting market that Hillary Clinton makes a little push to replace old demented Joe. One thing is for certain, and this is what I genuinely believe. I don't care what the markets say about Kamala Harris taking over Joe Biden in terms of likelihood. Even if Joe Biden announces he's out and withdrawing, Kamala Harris is going to drop in the markets because everybody hates Kamala Harris. It's sort of like everybody loves Raymond, except it's the Kamala Harris version, and everybody hates Kamala. Everybody hates Kamala so much, in fact, hold on, that even the man, the political snake in the grass, Gavin the gruesome Newsom, let me pull up this video clip right here, cannot bring himself to state, affirm or deny, and it was more like a question of affirming, cannot bring himself to affirm that he will support Kamala Harris, or as I like to say, Kamala Harris, just because it pisses off Gavin Newsom, whether or not he will endorse her. Listen to this and look at the body language. It's very telling.
If Joe Biden was to drop out, would you support Vice President Kamala Harris?
I'm going to read too much into it. If Joe Biden was to drop out, and he clutches his chest like he's already having the heart attack.
If Joe Biden was to drop out, would you support Vice President Kamala Harris?
Yeah, I don't even like playing into the hypotheticals, because last night was about sort of locking down any doubt or ambiguity, and then we start running in different directions, zigging and zagging, all that kind of speculation, and that gets in the way of progress. It's a legitimate question that I respect and appreciate.
And I just respect that. I'm not going to.
If you can appreciate my point of view, that it's very unhelpful, and it's exactly the question and answer that the Republican Party right now wants us to have, and that kind of two-way conversation.
What a freaking phony.
Joe Biden's our president. He said he's all in. I doubled down, said I'm all in.
Double down.
Not only that, I'm here with you.
Triple down, quadruple down.
Thank you, guys.
I wanna come back to something I was talking about yesterday when I was streaming from the kayak. Was it yesterday that I was streaming from a kayak? I said, like some people have the curse of good looks. What? I bet you Gavin Newsom young. I bet you when Gavin was young, there you go. I mean, he's got a very Patrick Bateman-ish American Psycho feel. But that is a man who was able to get by, or at least get preferential treatment based on his studly good looks. So much so that you can see the abject incompetence at this point in his life, because he's gotten away with too much because of his good looks. His good looks, and it's not my type of guy. If I were to even, be that way, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that would not be my type of guy. I would really much probably go like, well, I like Brad Pitt or Ed Norton out of Fight Club just because of the personality, people. But that man, I think, has the curse of what he thinks are good looks that have gotten him through life to the point where his good looks were the crutch for his political incompetence. Okay, we're going to get to some of the rumors in a second. For everybody who doesn't know, if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am or what the hell you're doing here or why is this guy... First of all, I'm not in my normal studio. I don't like this temporary studio. I put on... Look, hold on a second. Yeah, I put on the floodlight because I think this is just like awful. That's like my forehead is shiny. I look like I've got jaundice. So I've turned off the headlight and I'm using one LED floodlight. So I hope it's not too bad. I am Viva Frei, David Freiheit, a former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler. And I have, ladies and gentlemen, crossed behind the iron rainbow of Canada. Someone put out a very funny meme. And it said, I'm not in a good place right now. And it was a girl writing to her boyfriend, or she was there on the phone, and her boyfriend said, "What are you in Canada?" So I've crossed the iron rainbow and come back to Canada, and not a day too early. I mean, I make the jokes that it would be funny if it weren't so tragic what's going on in Canada, because it's never, I don't know when it's too late to turn the ship around. I mean, I guess when it hits Titanic level proportions, it's too late to turn the ship around. I don't think we're there yet in Canada, but my goodness, it feels like we're orbiting the event horizon of the proverbial black hole that Canada has become. One of my buddies out of East Coast Canada, I won't mention his name just in case he doesn't want me to, but he sends me a lot of good info, and sent me this, and it almost tempts me to. Let me get these here. Okay, fine. I require cookies to read your crap. I close your cookies. He sends me good news, like funny, tragic, awful, relevant news out of Canada. And he sent me this, and it's almost tempting me to go to Ottawa this weekend and attend the extremist group Diagolon, bringing, quote, terror tour to Ottawa this weekend. Police preparing. I can tell you, by the way, what's going on here. I haven't read the article thoroughly yet. I haven't read the article, and I shared it with our locals community because I wanted to do this in real time. I want to show you how exactly fake news runs as fake news. That title puts things in quotes. Now, what I suspect is happening here is Diagolon. You may know them from prior streams, all involving Jeremy McKenzie, who is a good man. Even if you don't like him, and even if he says things that you find upsetting and offensive, grow up and quit being a freaking child, elementary school baby. Grow up. Jeremy McKenzie, veteran, served for Canada, turned into public enemy number one during the trucker protest because he had his podcast called Raging Dissident, and he created his Kekistan fake meme internet country of Diagolon, which was the states and provinces running Diagolon and across North America, from like the west provinces of Canada to Florida. So, running across there, those were the freedom-loving states and provinces. The government, not misconstrued, I would say deliberately misconstrued, turned it into an extremist organization of accelerationists who believe that they need to bring about violence in order for social change to occur faster. They called them racist. They called them all sorts of gun-toting, bomb-making Canadians. They were the basis for the invocation of the Emergencies Act. They were the basis for Commissioner Rouleau ratifying Trudeau's invocation of the Emergencies Act because of those fabricated bullshit charges against the Coots men who were accused of conspiring to commit murder against an RCMP officer. And when they seized their cache of weapons, all of which were legal. One of the vests that they found, it could have been a fishing vest because it wasn't a ballistics vest, had a patch, the diagonal white patch of Diagolon, and they said, look at this organization. It started off as a joke online, and now it's an actual extremist organization. It's all a load of absolute horseshit, political horseshit. Anybody who believes it is an idiot, and anybody who says it is a liar. Well, they're not done yet. City News, the scum of the Canadian legacy media, tied with CBC, Radio-Canada, Toronto Star, the red one there, all of them, they're running this. Listen to this. Quote, extremist group Diagolon bringing, quote, terror tour to Ottawa this weekend. Police preparing. This is what I'm suspecting. I'm going to read in the first paragraph. Diagolon, Mackenzie and the others, they probably called this is probably just a group meeting that they're going to go across, have live meet and greet meetups. And they called it a terror tour to poke fun at the idiocy of the Canadian government. That's what I suspect. It is, that's what I suspect is allowing City News to put terror tour in quotes. I think they are ironically and, as parody, calling their meet and greet live stream on the road their terror tour. And the media pretends not to get jokes when they don't want to get them. The Ottawa Police Service said it is, quote, aware, end quote, that a group named Diagolon will be bringing its, quote, road rage terror tour to Ottawa on July 6th. According to police, the event location is not known, and they do not have direct communication with organizers. And yet they know it's dangerous. This is terribly dangerous, people. We are taking this seriously and are fully prepared to respond to any situation that may arise. Sorry, you're the police. That should be true all the time. You don't need to specify that on any given day of the week, because that would lead me to believe that there are other situations where you are not taking them seriously or prepared to act. I can think of certain violent occupations that might be going on. I can think of some of them get a pass and others get absolute irrational emphasis and focus. The extremist group that has grown, quote, increasingly radicalized, end quote. I don't know who the hell they're quoting here. According to a 2022 report from the House of Commons. Oh, the same House of Commons that are a bunch of idiots that thought they were an actual terrorist group that justified invoking the Emergencies Act. You better listen to them. Marco Mendicino, pathological liar, the one who said that truckers were in Ottawa to rape women. You better trust them, because the ones who have lied to you consistently over and over again for the last ever are now telling you that they are increasingly radicalized, meaning they are increasingly distrustful of a lying government. Yeah, that's it. It's known for calling for far-right policies, including mass deportation of Canadian residents. Oh, you mean illegal immigrants? Canadian residents of specific backgrounds. Oh, the illegal immigrant background type? And the preparation of an ongoing race war. It was founded by Mackenzie, who testified at the Emergencies Act. Look, I am the smartest man alive, people. It is their ironic self-branding, and the media are idiots. There was a time when Maxime Bernier, the leader of the PPC, tweeted out that Mao communists have infiltrated the Canadian government, and the Mao communists have infiltrated the Canadian government. And the Journal de Montréal, which is a joke of a newspaper, quoted him as being serious, as though he seriously meant literal Maoist communists have infiltrated the Canadian government. Holy crap! Let me bring it back. We want to get to the end of that before we get to the news of the day. So, I think it's half cut off when I don't open this. A poster is shown for Diagolon's Road Rage Terror Tour. Oh my goodness! Won't someone think of the children? Members of Community Solidarity Ottawa, a group of activists for human rights, told City News in an email they fear for those They fear for those of minority groups in the nation's capital. Yeah, maybe because they're living on the street, strung out on drugs, drunk, and mentally ill. Maybe that's where you should be focusing your attention on minorities in Ottawa, you dumbasses. Obviously, you haven't walked through Rideau Street anytime recently. You want to worry about the minorities in the nation's capital? Go look at the disproportionate number of Native Americans who are drunk, living off the street. Go look at the ethnic diversity of the people who are on the drugs, homeless in Ottawa. Go look at that, you uppity, white, liberal hypocrites. Oh, yeah, no, it's Diagolon that's the risk to the minorities in Ottawa, not the actual policies that has disparately put them on the streets, addicted to drugs and homeless. Oh, my goodness. Ottawa is a diverse city, and we worry for the immediate safety of residents who may live or work near this function. How about you worry about the ones who are homeless on the streets, addicted to drugs? No, you go build them free injection sites. Where Diagolon's road rage tour is heading next. Look at this, by the way. My other prediction was that this is the police just notifying counter-protesters where to go and when to go there in order to stir up shit so they can actually cause the violence that they're so fearful might arise. Ugh. Anyways, it's great publicity. I did not know that this tour was ongoing. I might be inclined to go. Maybe I'll be invited to be a guest speaker at one of these events. The site further lists the following cities as meet and greets. Oh, well, I do enjoy it when I end up impressing myself with my own intelligence or my own predictive capabilities. Because once you know how fake news works, you can predict how it's going to work with amazing accuracy on a going forward basis. So that's the absolute state of Canada. I'll give everybody the link to that. Oh, I hope I didn't just shut the entire stream down. Here, link. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot before we get going here. If you're tired of the garbage that the media is feeding you, and if you're tired of the holy crab apples, the stress and what this might do to your body, your metabolism, people, our sponsor of the evening is Lumen. What is Lumen? Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. Man, I can work on stress management. How does it work? All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. And if I ever get caught in the car breathing into it, the media will report that I was blowing into a breathalyzer and not the Lumen body metabolism measure. The Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time, and Lumen will give you the tips you need to be at the top of your health game. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how you turn food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimum metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. It can track your cycles, onset of menopause, adjust recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts, so you can keep up your energy, stave off cravings. Go, if you want this coach, this portable coach, if you want to take it to the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/Viva. Lumen, Lumen, like Lima, uniform, mama, echo November.me, mama, echo /Viva. Get 15% off your Lumen, or just click the link below. It's in the description. Let me make sure that it's in the description. Oh, hopefully. Yeah, it's in the description. And go, do it. It's fantastic. And the links are all there. What am I doing right now? Oh, it's not. It doesn't count the. Okay, here I'm just trying to see where we are on Rumble here. We are on Rumble. Okay, good. We're live. Love your hair, says Passionate American 77. Today is like the one in between day where it looks good and it's just on the verge of getting too naughty, and then it's going to get naughty. Then I've got to brush it. Yada yada. Okay, when we get going on the stream here, let me bring this back. I am going to end this on YouTube and bring it over to Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com exclusively. Oh, what do we got? What do we got?
You said that before as well, but you came, and you did have a tough month, but you came home from Europe about 11 or 12 days before the debate, spent 6 days in Camp David. Why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Oh, that's a hard question.
I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me.
By the way, look at how red his face is.
Trying to figure out what's wrong. They did a test to see whether or not
they did a COVID
some
test.
Infection, a virus. I didn't.
A virus.
I just had a really bad cold.
And did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did.
I don't think I did.
What I want to get at is, what were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look.
They really gave him some blush. He looks redder than me.
The way I prepared, nobody's fault, mine. Nobody's fault.
Nobody's fault. Whose fault could it be? Jill's.
I prepared.
Okay, so this is a prep, I think.
Sitting down, as I did come back with foreign leaders or the National Security
I didn't understand what he
Council
just said.
for explicit detail. And I realized about partway through that, I get quoted, the New York Times had me down at 10 points before the debate, 9 now, or whatever the hell it is.
Whatever the hell it is, bizarre.
What I looked at is that he also lied 28 times.
Oh boy, here we go.
I mean, the
Well,
way the debate
CNN didn't fact check.
Not my fault. Nobody else's fault.
But
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in, even before he spoke.
Well, I just had a bad night.
George Stephanopoulos
All right.
is with the president, and with so much riding on tonight's interview,
So it looks
President
like
Biden
it's going to
remains
start at
defiant,
8:30.
but his performance is clearly under scrutiny, with a growing number of top Democrats calling for him to drop out of the race.
Our
Team is standing by.
Okay,
for
we're not
complete
watching this crap.
analysis, and we begin tonight with our Rachel Scott.
Okay, good. So it looks like we're going to have it at 8:30. And so what we're going to do, up until then, first of all, I might hold on. Let's just see what's going on here. It's just too good not to see what's going on. We just watched that.
Stop the bleed as a growing chorus of top Democrats implore him to consider dropping out.
Stop the bleed. My goodness, if Trump had said stop the bleed, they would have accused him of threatening Biden's life. All right, so that looks like it's going to be on at 8:30. I'm going to leave it in the backdrop so when I see it, we're going to pull it up. I'm going to do it on Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com exclusively for two reasons. One of which is we go vote with our dollars and we vote with our eyeballs by supporting the platforms that support free speech and that value you as a, do I want to say a client or a customer? I thought I was going to say a patient, but that value your viewership. So we're going to go to Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com. And the other reason is a practical one, and it fits into part one. The copyright abuse on YouTube and the manner in which YouTube facilitates the copyright abuse by copyright trolls, abusive claiming of content, is one that should lead as many people as possible, A, to contest it in as much as possible, and B, to do exactly what we're doing. You use YouTube for what it's good for, and then you go spend your money, spend your viewership, and bring your traffic to Rumble or vivabarneslaw.locals.com. And while we are all here, Viva Frei, turn yourself down and the stream up. I'll do the Kulak King. I'll do it when it's time to do it. Neurodivergent, thank you very much. Said the same thing. In our supremely above average vivabarneslaw.locals.com community, $10 a month if you want to support the work that Robert and I do, or $100 a year if you get the entire thing at a discounted rate, or because Locals is amazing, you could buy coins and just give piecemeal tips and things and whatever. If you want to support the work that we do financially, not only no expectation, I was the worst lawyer in the world because I hated billing my clients. I felt terrible invoicing my clients for the work that I had to do because they were either sucked into problems that they couldn't get out of or lacked the emotional maturity to be able to get out of problems or avoid problems that they ought to have been able to avoid. And so I was never accused of overbilling any client. Times are very tough, and tougher. Times are tough for those who don't have, the base level problems to worry about. So there's absolutely no expectation or feeling of guilt or whatever. The vast majority of our content on vivabarneslaw.locals.com is for everybody and not just for supporters. But we do have perks and special stuff for those who do support us. But the easiest way to support, if you can't support financially, just share it. Snip, clip, share away, share with friends and family, spread the word. We are in the process of what Alex Jones refers to as a great awakening or the great awakening. And the amazing thing is we're in the process of, we're well into having built and nurtured this niche of law analysis, real-time legal political commentary, accurate and accountable to the viewers and accountable to the truth on YouTube and social media. Hence how Rumble has exploded exponentially with viewership and content creators. So we are very much lifting all of the ships in real time by increasing this pool of viewership. So share the channel with someone who you know would like it, and share it with someone who you think would not like it, because they are oftentimes the ones that need the hardest shaking of the shoulders and will you wake the bloody hell up? The amount of people I've been talking to about this Joe Biden abject disaster of a campaign. Holy crap, Joe Biden is down to 34 cents now. Ooh, where's Hillary? Ah, shoot, she's at 3 cents. Still no change. Kamala Harris is almost at 50 cents in terms of being a favorite. I'm going to read some of the tipped questions that we have up at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Big Bad Bob $3 says, you spelled his name wrong. It's spelled Snuffleupagus. He used to appear regularly on Sesame Street. Is that true? Then we got J Ash 62 with a $5 tip says, it's really not up to him. If they want him gone, go he will, one way or the other. And we can think of the other way. Those who refuse to look at the past are doomed to repeat it. J Ash, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, the bottom line is the dude's a semi-functional, senile old man. Dr. Drew thinks he's got Lewy body dementia, which, onset slow and then onset quick. And he's got his own reasons for believing it. And he said something very interesting. I was on with Dr. Drew earlier this week, and he's like, when we're in med school, they play us videos. They show us images of, dementia patients, dementia faces. Look at this. Dementia faces, images. Like, no, hold on a second. Defensive medical assessment. Look at this. Like, they show you. Is this it? Images. They show you images and they show you videos of people who have dementia or Lewy body. Let me see if I can get that. Lewy body. That's a weird name. And I'm not going to be able to find anything right. Oh, maybe this right here. Maybe this one. They show you pictures, and that's how med students are trained. Look at this. Difference between Alzheimer's and Lewy body dementia. Women have a higher chance of developing. Look at this face. I mean, this is actually Joe Biden. I mean, that's. Okay, I'm not going to be unnecessarily mean, but so when I was on with Dr. Drew, he's like, we don't diagnose without seeing a patient, but when we're in med school, they show us pictures, and that's how we know. I'm going to bring this out. That's how we know what the telltale signs are. That like, I call it the Walter White face. Like when Walter White was in his advanced stages of cancer and Breaking Bad, he had that Edward Munch type scream type face. And also my grandmother had early onset dementia when she was 86 and she lived to 103. I know what it looks like. I know what it acts like. And I know what I believe. So Drew said that it's obvious, but he's semi-functional enough to the point where the powers that be, you can have your governors and meeting together and saying, Joe's got to drop out. There are known legal issues for Joe dropping out right now. It's not just as easy as saying all of those primary votes for Joe now get set aside and we just swap in Kamala Harris, who nobody wants. It's not as easy when it comes to the fundraising, the monies that have been donated to the Joe Biden for President campaign. Barnes has talked about this amply on Bourbon with Barnes and on our Sunday show. So it's not that, when they're done with him, he's out one way or another. And I don't think Joe is like fighting to stay in here. I think Jill is fighting to keep Joe in, but when they're done with him and when they tell him you're out now because we found a viable path to the presidency, he's out. He's either out voluntarily or out with extreme natural prejudice. Ithaca 37 Cato says, Joe Biden, the perfect president for the National Lampoon magazine. I am running and going to win again. There's a meme in there. All right, and then we got Bill Brown in the house. Bill, it was Templeton's birthday recently. No, it was your birthday, Bill. That was last week. But Bill and I were texting yesterday about... oh, God. Bill sends me some funny memes. I'm friends with a guy from there. He's always posting live streams of him walking around trying to help people who literally overdosing on the street. I presume, Bill, you're talking about Ottawa. Ottawa is a shithole. And it's gotten exponentially worse than what it used to be. It was always a shithole that just got shittier and shittier. And the people who live in the glebe, the people who live in their nice neighborhoods, government salaries, they can afford properties that nobody else can afford. They don't see it. You walk freaking Rideau Street at night, any day of the week. When I went down there for the Rumble Media, the Rumble Free Speech Press thing, I went home that night. I didn't leave the hotel to cross the street. It was both of your birthdays, says Bill Brown. So, I presume you're talking about Ottawa. It's an abject disaster of a failed city, and Canada's turning into a failed country. And when I was shocked and stunned when I went back to Ottawa, because it was even worse than the last time I went back to Ottawa. And it's wild. Okay, so now we're going to do some Rumble rants and some super chats. until we get this party going. There's a lot of them. Okay. This is the strangest presidential race I've ever seen, and the strangest for you as well, says Cheryl Gagey. I remember not 2020. I remember 2000, the hanging chads. But this is just, it's next level. He's 81, clearly demented. So much so, like, it's literally the emperor has no clothes, but in real time and in real life. One of the rumors I've heard, Joe will make Hillary his VP and take Harris out. Once elected, Joe will bow out and make Hillary president. Okay, so here's the deal. I sound like Joe with that. I don't know that that's feasible. I don't know how Joe, they've already announced the ticket. I don't know that they can swap out the VP. The only, one of the theories that Barnes had posited, Robert Barnes, for those who don't watch all of the Bourbon with Barneses, is that he'll just have a heartbeat until the election, and then he'll resign or 25th or whatever, and then Kamala becomes the president through, not through any public vote, not through any public support. That's that. I don't think that this is feasible, but I appreciate that there's a lot that I don't know about the nuances about American election law. It's your boy Dogs says medical emergency aboard Air Force One, press removed. Hold on, I don't know if that's happened right now. Hold on, let me just see this here. Don't spread. I don't want to be caught spread. Social media slams Biden for answer to whether he watched the debate or not. He said no. Damn it, I'm one step ahead of everybody already. Laura Loomer, Biden medical emergency on Air Force One. No, well, okay. Laura Loomer has burnt me once before in terms of the news. The car that blew up at the border, she said it was heading to a Macy's Day Parade in New York, and it was an act of terrorism when actually the car was going to Canada, and it turned out to be an accident. So I take that with a grain of salt, people. Once burnt, twice shy, or what is it? Once bitten, twice shy. So I wouldn't put much stock in that. I'll Google it, but be careful. What I mean, it's the lesson you learn when you get burnt. I didn't retweet the tweet. I just knew that it was premature to be tweeting terror alert. The driver that blew up at the border was heading to the Macy's Day Parade in New York, and it's terrorism, Islamic terrorism, whatever. And then it turns out to be just a couple of old geezers who bought a very fancy car, had just filled it up with gas, and it blew up when they crashed it, and they were going to the Canadian border. So Biden medical emergency. I'm not seeing anything. I see something from CNN. It says that he was seen days after the debate. All right, so let me see what's going on here. I'm just going to scroll along. What I was going to do, I was going to go to Laura Loomer's, and again, it's not, anyways, yeah, that's it. You got to be careful what you tweet and what you retweet. Okay, so I don't see anything in her. Oh, this is very, very, okay, here's the tweets. Again, I am exquisitely skeptical. Just going to get it, and I am not sharing this to affirm, and I am, as I say, exquisitely skeptical. And then Joe Biden is reportedly having a medical emergency on Air Force One right now. Press access has been removed. Anyways, that's it. I will wait until this is cited elsewhere. Close that and bring this back. Okay, so what we're going to do in order to make the transition to ABC News. Well, let's see if ABC News Live is talking about it. That would be one sign. Okay, we're back on here, ABC. Wait, don't.
Time period. This is key because while it's moving throughout the Gulf of Mexico,
okay, they're talking about this Biden. I don't think anybody's more qualified.
That's why we're growing more and more concerned about the impact.
Mute. Everybody, I'm going to go pour myself a dry martini in a second. Everyone, make your way on over to Rumble because we're gonna take the party over there soon. Here, link. Once I get through the Rumble rants and the super chats, female trucker for Trump, end identity politics, end CRT, end hormone blockers, and trans surgery for kids. Hey, are these radical things to say? The amazing thing, I want to play the clip in a second. Actually, I'll play the clip while I go fix myself a nice dry martini. Is that Gavin Newsom giving a speech talks about how identity politics is like we focus too much on what separates us. And yet California is the most diverse state, thus implicitly, explicitly focusing on what divides us, identity politics. I 1000% agree with you. Anybody who doesn't agree to ban and prohibit hormone blockers and any form of gender affirming care, which is genital mutilation in children, anybody who doesn't agree with that, Gadsad coined the term suicidal empathy. I'll go with homicidal empathy. Anybody who refuses to ban that or support banning it is an evil person who has homicidal empathy. Laura Lumen said Biden having a medical emergency. Hey, we got that too. Do MAGA freaks ever look in the mirror and say, damn, I'm really batshit crazy? MAGA freaks. Randall, I don't know if you mean the MAGA freaks, the ones who are freaking out over MAGA, or MAGA, who you are calling freaks. But I can tell you one thing. If you're talking about MAGA and calling us, who I'll put myself in there as freaks, I look in the mirror every morning and think, damn, I am batshit crazy. But unfortunately, that means being sane, right, and understanding what the hell is going on in the world. I feel like I'm batshit crazy because the world is crazy. And if you're not suspicious of everything the government is doing, you're an idiot. But I think maybe we're on. Let me see here. Let me see if Randall clarified. No mercy, we need to win. That is from Eaters of Dead. Saw Ivanka on Lex Friedman say the election wasn't stolen. It was legit. Did the MAGA freaks piss on themselves and lose their minds? So Ivanka's entitled to be wrong. She's stating her opinion. I mean, the irony in this is that you think that MAGA freaks would lose their mind when someone utters an opinion with which they disagree. That's what we call in here, Randall, confession through projection. Ivanka's entitled to her opinion, and I'm entitled to think that she's wrong. And you know what's going to happen between two adults? We're going to go on with our day. But thank you for the super chats and the support. Now let me go over to Rumble real quick, because we got some Rumble rants over there. M. Sidloy says, I don't know if they want to keep him or dump him. The only thing I know is that if he had a more popular VP, they'd have dumped him long ago. That was genius level 4D chess choosing her back in 2020. That's not a bad point. Neeboop says Hillary will change her name to Joe Biden and Joe will get whacked. Simple. Or Hillary will have a sex change and she will identify as a man named Joe Biden. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm out of here. Kay Shia says, from now on, we should all refer to Kamala by her most accurate nickname, Hawk to Harris. I get that joke. I get jokes. Neeboop says, Shalom Viva. Nice meeting you in Miami. And I don't know how you spell homo in Hebrew letters. Spell it out. It would be Chamesh, Cho, or the U-O. I could spell it, actually. What we used to do as kids, by the way, Neeboop, we used to write in English Hebrew swear words so that my parents couldn't understand that we were all swearing at each other and calling ourselves stupid and making fun of whatever. Okay. Hebrew, let's spell it out. Sending 10 unexpected grand on Monday. Spending 10 unexpected grand on Monday. So here's $10. Do I ask Neeboop what you're spending it on? I will not. That would be, Viva, you really dug your 4th of July speech proper. Viva really dug your 4th of July speech proper. Thank you very much, TS Experience. And seems to me President Trump should have malicious prosecution claims with SCOTUS finding of presumptive immunity. Democrats presumed guilt and demanded President Trump prove innocence. It's beyond that. They to their own detriments, to their own fault, as spanked by SCOTUS. There we go. Shabbat Shalom, David. Thank you very much, M. Sidloy. They did not do the most basic analysis that they were required to do in order to make sure that they were not engaging in just outright chicanery. All right, I'm gonna play something. It's gonna be the snake in the grass, Gavin Newsom, while I go make myself a Ungava gin. It looks like urine. It's yellow gin. You'll see it. I don't know why they decided to go with that color. I'm not drinking urine, and I'm gonna put an olive in it. But let me just play. It was Gavin the Gruesome Newsom, who it's a longer clip, so it'll give me time to. The political snake. Let me see here. This is it right here. Bada bing, bada boom. And we're going to play this as we wait. Everyone make your way over to Rumble or to vivabarneslaw.locals.com if you are so inclined, because that's where the after party is going to be. And I'm going to be focusing on the chat there quite a bit. Hold up. Let me give everybody the link to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Come on over. You need not be a paying supporter. Just consider being a member. And everyone will have a good time. Hold up. I just saw something. So while we're getting all this ready, this is it right here. Trump could fall into a pile of dog crap. Get up, wiping gold off. He had a good week. Hashtag Trump 2024. No, the thing is, Trump is just an ordinary, functional, intelligent, business-savvy 79-year-old, and Joe Biden is a demented, corrupt criminal of an 81-year-old. Period. It ain't rocket science. Here, let me play this while I go do something, and then we're going to do this here. But enjoy this, people. It's going to make you want to puke. I'm going to jack up the volume as much as I can, but it's going to be very low. Most diverse democracy.
I say that because I think we need to say that. I say that because we're living in a time where everybody's so focused on their differences and not united around the things that bind them together. I'm just couldn't be more proud to live in a state, in a nation where people can live and advance together across so many conceivable and imaginable differences, but also, as I said, unite around those things that I think bind us all together. We all want to be connected. We all want to be respected. We all want to be protected. We all want to love. We all need to be loved. And I think those are things we need to talk about more than not just, again, this sort of notion of separateness and otherness, but this fundamental, this universal values that I hold dear, and I know all of you here. So, look,
away, Kaulista.
if you like me, it's been a few tough weeks.
Why do I have a feeling that nobody can hear this?
Tough years.
Yes. Testify. Can we hear anything or no?
Stacking of stress, COVID, issues of social unrest. Remember that?
Remember that.
All the volatility around the globe. Obviously, all the stacking of stress related to these inflation.
Viva is okay. Yeah. So we're gonna end this because Gavin is a weasel. But it was just like sorry. I'll just say the audio is way too low on that. It was a bad recording. Hey, he's like, we're the most diverse state. First of all, go to Miami, you jackass, Gavin. We're the most diverse state, but we focus too much on what separates us. I want to bring something up here. Hold on, no, I got to bring this up. Twitter. There's something that I just realized. You know, when Joe Biden said, I don't know if I saw the debate. Hunter Biden laptop interview. Do you remember when Hunter Biden gave his laptop? I think, is this it here? No, that's not it. When Hunter Biden, it's amazing. I can't. The only video I find when I put in Hunter Biden laptop interview. Hunter Biden. I'll just go interview. When he gave his interview, and he was asked if the laptop was Russian intelligence, and he says, "I don't know. I really don't know. It could be that it was Russian. It could have been this. It could have been that." When he obviously knows the truth, and he doesn't want to answer the question. I don't know is his go-to answer. What does his dad say when he's asked if he watched the debate? I don't know. I don't know what I did with my own eyes and head. I don't know if I watched that horrendous debacle of a debate. His proper answer should have been, no, I didn't rewatch it. I never rewatched my performances because nothing can be gained from it. That's what actors say. That's what performers say sometimes, because it's useless watching the movie once it's already been edited, and it's useless watching your interview where you know you screwed up or whatever because you can't change anything. It's useless watching your interview with Dr. Drew when a freaking fly lands on your nose. I'm doing the interview here, and I tell you, it's cosmic justice, or it's, not karma. It's the fly's revenge, because I'd spent the better part of that afternoon spraying fly. I don't know if everybody's noticing it's a bad fly season. Freaking fly lands right on my nose. I don't want to be a vicious animal and kill a fly live on air. I also don't want to sit there like a jackass with a fly on my nose like Mike Pence during the debates. Who's this? K-Dog, R-Dog. Trump's lawyers seem to be slow walking his appeals from the New York case, even though people like Dershowitz have advised him to get to the Supreme Court quickly. Are his lawyers incompetent? Well, I don't know. I mean, okay, there's two things. First of all, it's very, very easy to criticize other people and their work. Though, as my father always said, the person who did not draft the memo can always find the typos. Also, when it comes to the practice of law, they're not much different than general contractors in that very rarely will you find a general contractor who will complement the work of prior general contractors. It'll always be, oh my God, look at all
Carlos.
look at all the wrong things he did. He screwed this up. He didn't put caulking there. He didn't put fat. So general contractors, the new ones, always, almost as a matter of practice, criticize the works of the last ones because it gives them more work to do. It gives them more to repair. Same thing is generally true of law and lawyers. So it would be easy to fault them and whatever and say, do this faster, do that. You should have done this. You should have done that. Judge Marchand already postponed sentencing in the New York case because they've got to now go back and see whether or not he tosses the conviction entirely. And they go back and they proceed to that analysis that the Supreme Court laid out for them to determine what the nature of the impugned indicted offenses is, what the nature is of those acts. So, I mean, look, I appreciate it. His lawyers, I'll rely on the bigger brain of Barnes, who has actual criminal law or practice in the States. There's an argument that they did not preserve their objections as well or as clearly as they ought to have. But look, bottom line also, I think half of this is a foregone conclusion. I think the overturning on appeal is a foregone conclusion. And I now think that the judge is going to be he'll be more easily able to wash his hands of what has to be done, overturning the conviction because of the Supreme Court. He can now blame the extremists on the Supreme Court, that he's got to go vacate that conviction, reanalyze the indictment, because all of the acts in that New York indictment, all 34 felony charges, were for conduct committed by President Trump when he was president in 2017. So that's that. Okay. So as everyone continues to make your migration over to Rumble, where we're now actually damn well going to cross over 10,000 live viewers, link to Rumble, and I'll give everyone the link to Locals, where we are 418 strong. That's fantastic. And link to Locals. Get over there because we're going to do it. Link to Locals. Boom. Okay, there we go. And let me just make sure that I haven't missed any Rumble rants. Dry and dirty, just wave the vermouth. Dude, okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. There's stuff a brewing there. Cripe, I'm not going to bring up the Rumble rants visually anymore because I got to make sure I can see the screen in the back. Dry and dirty. Hold on one second. Just wave the vermouth at the martini. Nothing ruins a martini more than the actual vermouth, that disgusting sweet whatever liqueur that they put in it. I keep the gin in the freezer. That way I don't have to use ice cubes to dilute. And the only vermouth I use is the olive juice, and not too much of it. So dry and dirty, just wave the vermouth at the martini. Jays from Monk. That was from Astro Sweat, by the way. Viva C Still Great. Ian Miles Chong. Let me go see what he has to say. But Ian has also been wrong on some things that you have to just do not retweet reflexively. Happy MAGA month to all my MAGA freaks out there. Turned 32 on Wednesday, and in a few weeks, I'll be moving into my own house. Lord of the Ree, God speed and God bless. Enjoy it. And I don't know if you have kids yet, if you plan on having kids, if you're beyond the age of having kids, keep the roof, the structure, and the walls intact, and everything else is going to get messy and is going to break. Can't wait to get my Trump sign and flag. God bless America. Okay, now I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go see what Ian Miles Chong is saying, but let me bring it up because the thing is going to start. All right, I'm going to end it. We're ending it on YouTube right now. It's on. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone, on this momentous evening. I'm Juju Chang.
Ending on YouTube. Come on over.
With us tonight, ABC News has an exclusive interview.